coach, obviously, from the start you guys had, must be very pleasing now to sort of go into this break with momentum, 2 bonus point wins. You guys weren't that cautious against Scarlets, but things seem to really click today. Obviously, still things to work on, but a much better feeling in the camp than after returning from tour.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Ross. The guys really played hard today. A lot of effort. As it's tough for them, it's also tough for us at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I think as the game progressed, we got more efficient. My error rate went a little bit down. Still, our exit cycles probably put us under pressure. But we challenged hard this week, and they really responded well. So, well done. Congrats.
And with it being against, an Ulster team that was in really good form, they'd beaten the Springbok led and Sharks team in Durban a week earlier. That was just added a little bit extra to the result, and also, pleasing that the guys have managed to overcome such a tough test.
Yeah, I think the last 3-4 games they played 2 South African teams, so they played the Bulls and the Sharks, home and away. I think they showed their class there. So for us to manage to get 5 points is obviously really happy with that. I think I'm more proud of the work and how we did it. I think we can really build on that.
And just looking, that first half wasn't the greatest performance. You guys should have probably been ahead at the break. Horn sort of says in the halftime team talk, to come out firing in that second half, get that score ahead, and then push on.
I think we were creating the right pictures. We had unbelievable sets on defense and attack. I think if you take the hard work in that last defensive set before the halftime, and it was inches in the corner, otherwise we prevented that try. That spoke quite a bit to how hard we're working and how desperately we're working. I think there were 1 or 2 errors in finishing zone, and it's not Niku's error, but the error of Niku. Then they kept him in the 22 and they scored from there. So the halftime was actually quite technical in the sense of we're creating these fixtures, 1 or 2 changes or 1 or 2 moments where we're just more accurate and we can really put them under pressure.
Ek moet sê dan ons laaste was mense kon dalk hulle sê ek dink Royaliese ouens is ons nie die beste span nie. Hy was ons ek dink Ulster is ons baie gedeen by sien. En dis dalk ook 'n bietjie is ons eie nog maar ek dink dit nog baie seën vir ons jou en die ouens los in die fasies en hulle het nie ons wil net baas vir daai eie daas op en sê hoe dan ons hulle is ook net ons maar sê dit los in baie sê so as jy
ek dink as jy met Richard hulle afgetrek voor die tyd gesels, ek dink ons 14 ouens tussen Ierland en Ierland af, wat November hoër op gaan speel. Hulle speel goeie rugby, hulle weet hulle speel goeie rugby, hulle voel ons iets aan die begin. So dan as jy nou die tyd die resultaat kry, moet jy net dankbaar wees. Bly soos ek sê, regtig trots op die ouens se effort vandag en ons het soos ek sê, ons het nog 'n hard challenge om te wys hoeveel dit beteken vir mekaar.
Thank you. In terms of the determination and hard work that Kirsten speaks about, you as the captaincy and guys are chasing motivation that in the final 5 minutes in the game. So just great determination to get over the line and really play position. It's just how determined the team is to get over the line.
Yeah, no, obviously very pleased. The guys really responded well on each message that was coming through. Never felt in a game that we were really much under pressure. Yes, 1 or 2 soft moments, 1 or 2 errors, especially first half. But like I said, halftime was more technical on how to get it right. And I think if you can look at the last 10 minutes, the energy and still the determination to go and score points was there. So yeah, there's still a lot to fix, but there's also a lot to be proud of and that we can work with in the next 4 weeks.
Okay, so just those momentum swings, after trying to win one back, there's a scrum penalty or a breakdown. How impressive was that? We never outspoken. You guys never looked down with shaking like that.
Yeah, I think in moments like that where historically we probably didn't find a way to manage that moment or to swing the momentum. I think tonight we managed to turn the momentum a little bit sooner or earlier. We knew it was an area which we potentially could get the upper hand in, scrum wise, and you still got to do it. Under fatigue or under the heat, you still got to do it. So, like I said, proud of that and minimizing the errors at the end, and really just be more clinical. And yep, I think that the results spoke for itself.
I mean, this opening game, like I said, it sort of like falls into that pre-season phase. What do you work on right now when you're heading towards these domestic derbies?
I don't necessarily have the answer, but definitely consistency. More clarity in how we want to play, more clarity in strengths, more clarity in cohesion and collectiveness, more clear on identity, more clear in role specific and position specific improvement. So big 3 weeks for us. We're going to have a week off to rest and recover. If you add the couple of Currie Cup games, someone like Asia, unfortunately, with Morgan and John that got injured, I think it's his 15th game in a row. So the guys are going to get a week off, and then we'll get back on the horse, getting ready for the Bulls.
Coach, if we were to compare this block out of 10 from your side compared to the previous 3 seasons, what would you give the team out of 10 for this block of games that you guys played?
I think we still have a 5.5, 6. I think if we were better for 2 minutes against Zebra, the last 2 minutes, that's a potential 4 points. If we were better with 5 minutes to go against Cardiff, there's potentially 2 to 4 points. Then it looked very different today. But I think if you, obviously everyone's emotional after a win like that, but there's still, 10, 11 points on the log. The feeling in the camp, and we've been saying it all along, the feeling in the camp is very different than what people think it is or what readers read it as. We understand that we need to get better. We understand that we need to get more clinical, but we also understand what pictures we are creating, and we understand we wanted to executions away from really doing something like we did the last 5 or 10 minutes. So I'll probably give it a 5.5, 6.
And then Francke, Renzo came on 20 minutes and he just seemed to energise you guys a little bit. Gave you a bit of forward ball. How important was that 20-minute cameo from Renzo? Each guys, Ulster was probably gassed as well, but he just seemed to give you that extra bit of go forward.
Yeah, obviously he came on and he brought a lot of energy, good go forward momentum. But I think the message was clear during the week. What type of bench we picked and what the expectation is from them. And you could just see the last 15 minutes what they brought to the field, the energy they brought, and just the other guys that were still in there to hang with them and play off each other. So all in all a very good team performance.
Just take us through, how you feel after such a win, because to be honest, the team has been a bit under pressure. Your supporters and the fans, they want you guys to win well. So what are you feeling after that particular victory right now? And in the context of the season, how important is such a victory?
Yeah, obviously you guys asked the question last week and I said relief because there was a bit of a monkey on our back. This week, just proud the way we fought. I can be critical and say that there was a few errors that we left out there and few tries, but we also scored 49 points and that's no easy feat. So very proud of how we played and the confidence that we can take into the next 4 weeks to build up to the Bulls the 29th of November.
Coach, Bronson Mills brought a lot of energy on defense and it seemed to be a good link in that middle of the park. What are your thoughts on just his performance today, especially being a young bloke coming into the side?
Excitement and talent is the 2 things that he's got plenty of. Really confident young man and young rugby player. Proud of his performance. He at the end of last season he also put in some good performances. So I think he can be proud of it, and I think it's something he can build on. He brings a little bit something different. I think defensively today, he stepped up nicely.
When you look at the whole squad, I mean, you look at a guy like Bonson coming in, you look at a guy like Renzo coming in, also the second half bringing in energy and some excitement. I mean, what is your feel of the balance of the squad at the moment in terms of competition for spots and also just maturity and stepping up?
Yeah, the competition between the healthy guys is good. Unfortunately, there's quite a bit of long-term injuries, which, like I said, I wouldn't have wanted to play Asia 15 games in a row, but that's the cards we have currently. But there's some positions we still feel we can be a little bit more consistent in terms of not just output on the field, but also in competition. But if you look at our training sessions, it's really competitive. It's really intense. It's quick. It's physical. So yeah, I think today showcased that a little bit. Hopefully, uh, the next month is really important for us to prep well.
So on that, does this break make it a bit more frustrating for you that in the composure elements and all the elements you're speaking about from a clarity and identity that this break comes now and then you can't sort of carry the momentum into the next game?
I think you guys will probably want the answer post Bulls game, but for me, if I'm honest, I think it's a good time for us to walk away today with what it is and what it look like, and the ability to keep on working on that over the next month. Should have one or two, potentially we can have one or two injured guys back as well that can bolster the squad as well. So you always want to keep the momentum you got today, but it's a long season, so we'll take the rest when we get it as well.
And obviously, I mean, a game like today, it seemed like just the plan worked. You know, when you see things happening, when you guys coming on, bringing the energy. For you, how as a coach looking at the team, how are you going to manage that for the next? Maybe I'm repeating the question, but how are you planning on managing the players in order to sort of begin on a high again?
Manage in terms of training and loads and that, or okay. Every game's got a different opportunity. Every game's got a different identity. Every game has got a different stress and a different feel about it. So I think emotionally we were right out there today against a good Ulster team that was really playing some good rugby. So I think the rest will look after the load and the management itself. And I believe the closer we can get to one another and the more cohesion we get, the emotional side should be looking after itself as well.
Francke, the ruck speeds today were much more improved from last week. Was that a lot of work that went into that and attention that went into that for the pack?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, last week we were sitting here and we said attacking breakdown. And Ulster is quite a big threat if you look at the game they played against the Sharks. So it was a massive focus, but it's easy to talk about it. It's another thing to do it, and I think the guys really stood up in that. A key word for us this week was playing towards the ball. And you could see the guys, closest two guys, were ready to clean the ruck, get quick goal for the 9. And then we have backs and out and Lucy's that can do the job out wide. So, like I said previously, it was a big team performance that everybody can be proud of. And yeah, use this confidence for the next month.
Francke, there's 18 actually played well today. How big is he in terms of, he's one of the more experienced players? How big is he for you as a leader in terms of being a part of that leadership group with the Lions? How big is he, and how big are his performances right now?
Yeah, obviously he had a cracker today. He's normally the more silent type in terms of doing the dirty work, setting the mauls, stopping the mauls, scrumming, but today you could see he made actually a few line breaks and dominated people. And that's the ethos we know. He got injured at a very, I want to say, at a bad time. Last year we was really up there with his performances. But to see him back now after 3 games and play like this is obviously something to be very proud of and to look forward to. And as a player next to him, just to play off him when he dominates contact.
We'll take Ross and then what more?
Francke, just to add on to what Morgan was saying about the feeling in the group, just give us an idea of the mental side of things from your players' point. Coming off a disappointing tour, having to lift yourselves for Scarlets, and then now taking that momentum into this Ulster game, how was the mental aspect from you guys in that?
Yeah, obviously, you hear the noise from outside, and you see the stuff, and it takes a lot of composure and a lot of mental strength to know that what you do is right, and that the outcome will come right if you do your job better, execute better, and I think everybody's on the same page. So yeah, it was a tough 3 weeks, and even after last week we weren't as happy with the performance, but today you could see everything built up to the day, and the guys was just firing, played some really good rugby, and yeah, I think this is going to do us a world of good, the confidence we can get out of that, and yeah, just keep on building the season.
And then Cash, just when is Butto arriving for you guys, and will he be coming into the first team system to put some pressure on the Lucies and Locks there?
Yeah, I don't think it has changed. I think it's should be early Jan. Also, one or two other guys that's going to join. Like it be asked, the more competition we have in the squad, the better we can train, the better we can play, and the more we can actually rotate and keep freshness and readiness in the squad. So if you ask me about Barty, he is someone that will join the senior ranks as well.
There's one more. Coach, just also the physicality seemed to go up a notch today as well. Yeah, Rooyen and Francke take on the line. I mean, Q was one stage went for it, and it seems like the last week as well, you guys had a real chat about the physicality aspect, because that was probably maybe a bit passive when you guys were on tour and you battled with it. Just take us through the conversations around the physicality and how you got the guys to get to that level, and how you keep that level, you keep that momentum.
Yeah, the first answer, the first part of the answer will be obviously probably South African. So if you get challenged and you get asked questions similar to the Box and all the other URC teams and Currie Cup teams, the first thing that should improve is physicality. The Ripples tend to fix a lot of things around it in terms of breakdown and all of that. But also it depends on what defensive system you're facing. When there's a little bit more of a rush, it creates a little bit more of a one-on-one, and you can dominate a little bit easier. When Carter, for instance, just a connected line, and they tend to double and triple lead you. You need to find other ways to be direct and get people in momentum. So yeah, today again, I think there was a step up in physicality, definitely. And whether it is by design or whether it's by passion and want, luckily we moving forward now.
Last one does it. Yeah, Francke, just for as a pack, really, sort of full performance, line outs, scrums, everything sort of worked out. Is this game become the benchmark for your season, as a pack, in terms of what you want as a captain, from a unity perspective, from a cohesion perspective, etc.?
Yeah, hats off to the pack of forwards. We've been challenged the last 3 weeks, especially when we were on tour, about physicality and set piece. And as a pack, that sometimes, well, not sometimes, it definitely hurts. So there's only one way going forward from there. And we had to look each other in the eye and say, listen, coaches and backs can't demand us to be more physical and dominant. So yeah, I would say definitely, especially scrums today was unbelievable. There was still one or two errors in the line-out, easy fixes. But if you can go set piece, scrum, maul, you tire the opposition out, and then our elusive backs and Lucies and forwards can play off that.